Tony,
I'll look at it.
No.
I don't want it. I'll use my.
I can grab it if it's not over there.
Is that it right there?
So if the tree's there, it's gonna be.
It's a little brown.
We didn't have it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, that round thing.
It looks like it's.
The bottom line is. Stuff on the board. I guess you're.
Yes.
That's fine.
Good?
Yeah, I got just that.
Kind of.
You can just.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Stuff that's actually.
Okay.
It works?
Then there may not be any of that.
Good job.
I'm live.
Just you'll just need like the words, agenda.
Whatever you can confirm for me is good.
Look, there it is. Where did it come from?
It was just sitting right here.
I got a picture there.
Is that okay to keep there? Are you ready?
Nobody hates it.
Tony, good?
Yes. Done.
Okay. Call the May 16th City of Columbus Graphics Commission into order. Jamie, any preliminary business?
Nothing preliminary, we can go right to the meeting.
Oh, we have to do our swearing in by our city attorney over here, his job.
You're correct. If anybody anticipates testifying or providing testimony in relation to the case today, raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm that all the information you'll provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and if so, say I do.
Well done. Okay. Let's bring our first case, application GC 23-009-6201 Collins Drive.
You see. It's like 2-2 up there.
Yeah, it does.
Which one's?
Ooh,
It is 23. It is 20.
it is 2023.
Yes.
Glad we clarified that. Okay. Whose case is this?
I will be presenting this one. So GC 23-009 located at 6201 Collins Drive is located on the west side of Collins Drive, approximately 520 feet north of London Groveport Road. It's part of the far south Columbus Area Commission, and existing zoning is M manufacturing. The 49.21 acre site is currently developed with a warehouse. Surrounding uses include similar warehouses to the east and south, farmland to the north, and a fire station, several single unit dwellings, and more farmland to the west. The applicant proposes to establish a graphics plan to include 43 ground signs. The signs will provide a mix of wayfinding information and building identification information. Planning supports the proposal as it is consistent with Columbus citywide planning policies, C2P2, signage design guidelines. Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the far south Columbus Area Commission recommends approval of this request. City Department's recommendation likewise is that of approval. Staff can recommend approval of this request as the proposed signage is necessary for identification and wayfinding of the multiple uses within the warehouse and is consistent with C2P2 design guidelines and the character of the surrounding area. Since this is a graphics plan, we will also have the plan itself ready for signature if approved.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Jeffrey Immel. I work for Kinley Horn. We are the agents, we're the agent for the applicant.
Can you spell your name for?
Yeah,
Last name.
last name is I-M-M-E-L.
Okay, great. Would you like to present your case?
Well, I think Dane said most of it there. The signs that we're proposing are directional in nature. Their main purpose was to just direct the delivery drivers to the correct areas in the at the distribution center. This is part of a national program that Amazon is working through. So this is one of over 100 different distribution centers that has signage just like this. So consistency is key in these programs. A lot of drivers are seeing some of the same places, and the main goal here is safety and traffic flow.
Anyone have any questions?
I do. So is there, I mean, I think there, I'm looking at the one part here. Is there a main sign? I mean, I'm looking at all the traffic, I get that, it's wonderful, all that, but like, the main sign, is
You know, the
that,
roadway?
yeah, roadway, like, I see.
On Collins
I
Drive?
kind of see that one there, but, I mean, do you need a main sign? I don't know, maybe,
I'm sorry, I can't see which one
well,
what you're.
it was located here at the bottom middle, I think. It would be,
The second page?
Yeah, this one looks like the,
Yeah. yeah,
it's on delivery.
Yeah,
That'd be
the pylon sign, so,
is that your primary?
right, that one, was actually, that's existing, it's just being refaced.
Okay, but I mean, you're going down the road and you can find Amazon real easy. Okay.
So, just a clarification, so in, the original application, there were two, signs that you're probably, thinking about, the kind of main signs for the establishment. However, those we recommended, not be included in the graphics plan since they would be allowed by right. So they're being,
We've already approved those, you're saying previously?
they're just allowed, they're code
got it.
guideline,
Okay.
yeah. So they're going through the permitting process currently for those signs. This would be for the ones that would not be.
Okay,
Got it.
great.
Any other questions? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify and speak to this? Okay. Is the graphics plan, so we don't need a finding of fact, correct? Okay, can I have a motion to pass this application?
I'll make a motion to approve. GC 23-009.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I think we can take a vote.
Mr. Cavaliers,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes,
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Romo,
Yes.
Chair Cooperman.
Yes, thank you, and it's approved.
Thank you, and I will go ahead and pass along the graphics and first signature.
Okay. Next case, GC 23-010, 1489 Roar Road. Sign this anymore?
It should be just underneath the stamp at the top of the page, says graphics. Yeah.
Okay. Whose case? Dane again.
It is me again. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. All right, so GC 23-010, 1489 Roar Road is located on the south side of Roar Road, approximately 400 feet west of Bixby Road. It's part of the far south Columbus Area Commission, and existing zoning is LM manufacturing. The 59.73 acre site is currently developed with a recently constructed industrial center. Surrounding, sorry. Thank you. Surrounding uses include similar industrial centers and warehouses to the east and south, and farmland and several single-unit dwellings to the north. The applicant proposes to establish a graphics plan to include 3 directional multi-tenant signs, apologies, and 10 tenant identification signs. The signs will provide a mix of wayfinding and building identification information. Planning is generally supportive of the graphics plan, but requests the applicant reduce the height of the 2 multi-tenant signs along Roar Road frontage. These 2 signs have since been removed from this graphics plan as CC 3377.13 allows up to 2 ground signs for lot frontages surpassing 600 continuous lineal feet, provided they are separated by at least 300 feet. Since these 2 signs meet these criteria, they are allowed by right, and planning comments have been resolved. Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the Far South Columbus Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Likewise, City Department's recommendation is that of approval. Staff can recommend approval of this request as the proposed signage is necessary for identification wayfinding for the multiple uses within the warehouse, much like the last graphics plan we just heard, and is consistent with C2P2 design guidelines and the character surrounding area. Chair.
Okay, how you doing? Can you please state your name for the record, please?
Bruce Sommerfeld.
Great. Would you like to add anything to the staff report?
Dane did a fine job. If you've got any questions of me, we'd be happy to embellish. But basically, we did appear before Far South and gained their approval. And we've done it as minimally as we possibly can to make these functional signs for finding and functionality.
Anyone have any questions? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this case? Okay, same situation. We have a graphics plan, no need for findings of effect. Someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve GC 23-010.
Or a second?
Second.
Great. Go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Hoy,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rumbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalaris,
Yes.
Chair Cooperman,
Yes, and thank you. It's approved.
Thank you.
All right, next case, application number GC 23-011, 3223 Allegheny Avenue. Again, Dane.
Yeah, this should be the last one I'm presenting. So. Let's see. GC 23-011, 3223 Allegheny Avenue is located at the southwest corner of Allegheny Avenue and North James Road. It is part of the Mid-East Area Commission, and existing zoning is AR3 residential. The 55.08 acre site is currently developed with the Columbus Afrocentric Early College Pre-K through 12 school. Surrounding uses include a mix of eating and drinking establishments and multi-unit dwellings to the north, a hospital and federal government campus to the east, a mix of multi-unit and single-unit dwellings to the south, and multi-unit dwellings to the west. The applicant proposes to install a ground sign with automatic changeable copy. The applicant is thus requesting a variance to increase the area dedicated to changeable copy from 50% to 66%, increase the maximum setback from 6 feet to 7 feet, increase the maximum allowable height from 6 feet to 10 feet, and increase the maximum allowable graphic area from 24 square feet to 30 square feet, and a variance to allow an automatic changeable copy sign in the AR3 residential district. Planning does not support the proposal as presented. The Port Columbus Joint Economic Development Strategy published in 2008 states that, quote, LED and other such electronic or digital signs or excessively large signs that interfere with the visual character are not supported. It's on page 45. However, planning could be supportive of the proposed monument sign if the changeable copy element is removed from the proposal. Now, we do have though, with institutional uses such as this, that we do allow changeable copy in residential districts for things like schools, recommend approval. We would consider that point moot from planning, and we would recommend approval. The Division of Traffic Management has no comments, and the Mid-East Area Commission recommends approval of this request. Likewise, City Department's recommendation is that of approval. Although the Port Columbus Joint Economic Development Strategy, published in 2008, states that electronic or digital signs are not supported, staff knows that there is an established precedent of allowing an exception to this rule for institutional uses in residential districts. As such, staff can recommend approval of the requested variances.
Thank you. Would you like to please state your name for the record?
Certainly. My name is Dave Perry. I'm here as agent for the City of Columbus Board of Education. And I'll ask the gentleman with me to introduce himself.
I'm Bob Mickley with Columbus City Schools Capital Improvements.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Bob Mickley, Mickley.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Perry, would you like to present your case?
Yes, sure. Thank you. The request is one of the school district simply to provide a modern sign. The Afrocentric grounds is about 55 acres. The grounds are immaculate. The building's immaculate. And this is an investment in the school site with the automatic changeable copy for sports, for school events, for announcements that need to occur. There are some other minor variances related to size and height. There's a mound along Allegheny Avenue that is affecting the height, which is why the height variance is included. And if it were set back farther, it would be behind the mound. If it were set back closer, it'd be right up on the sidewalk, and the Board of Education would have to cut areas of the mound out around the sign. So the variances requested are minor related to the placement of the sign and the request is the automatic changeable copy as stated.
Are there any conditions with what is going to be placed on the sign? It's in just graphics about onto the school and events that are occurring at the school.
Yeah, it's exclusively for the school, but it would be events, it would be school events, parent-teacher meetings, that type of thing. School closings would be posted and so on. It's exclusively for the school with copy or depictions as needed.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, does it ever remain static, like for, like overnight, or will it just be constantly flipping? Do you know? Have you gotten into that detail at all, or?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you-
No, we have not considered that
Yeah.
in detail. We'd be happy to take recommendations though, if that's.
I've seen that before on other signs for schools where, for a certain period, like overnight, when people are sleeping typically, so it just stays, with just maybe the name of the school or whatever they decide. Or maybe it flips a lot less often if they could program it that way. I think it depends on the type of sign.
Okay.
But then like during the day, when you've got traffic and you want, or kids at school, you could flip more frequently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, so I know this area and I also know this school, I'm in this district, so nothing will be on the sign, number one, that will be outside the policy, will have to be in line with the Ohio Revised Codes and the school district. And then also the sign will be facing, I'm gonna need my check too for helping, but, the sign will be facing a club and there is a church there, but it's residential on that side, where they will be disturbed, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, the sign, you're correct. The sign is perpendicular to Allegheny. And where this is located, proposed to be located is about the middle of the three. There's three driveways for the school. It would be near the middle driveway and across the street are commercial and industrial uses. I think to your point, Mr. Cavaleris, there's going to be less need for changing copy. I suppose there might be early announcements of school closings or delayed closings or that type of thing, but there would be less need for regularly changing copy through the night.
Well, they have a lot of games there, so they probably would.
Sports, yeah.
But I think that neighborhood also supports that school, so I'm real comfortable with that.
Yeah,
Nothing.
very, very, very solid unanimous support by the area commission for the school.
Can we add in a condition that it stays static between, let's say like 11 and 5 a.m., at nighttime, something like that? Is that doable?
That's part of the, I have no idea. That,
Yeah, I don't know if sports might get out later than that.
Sometimes they-
Maybe 12 to 4, 12 to 5, something like that.
I know they like.
That would work.
I know they like to keep up their
Yeah,
state.
you could have basketball games that late. Yeah, no.
They like to keep up their state, like when they.
I'm sorry, I used the microphone.
I'm sorry.
I really.
Are you turned on?
You know, it's, touch the.
It should have the little yellow green light. No, right here.
Yeah, my green light's on.
No, it is. No, it's-
It is now.
Okay, thank you.
It's really not in an area where it's not directed right at housing, anyway, so.
I don't hate to limit them because I know that they like to keep up their state, like when they win, state records for basketball games or whatever. I know that their girls' basketball team is like one of the best in the,
I would say the country, but I might be overstepping.
but they do like to keep their stuff up.
That was the illustration used on the sign copies, the girls' basketball team.
Yeah.
They are one of the best.
And so I know that they like, I guess it probably wouldn't matter if we did put your recommendation, but it's just speaking to it. I know they like to keep it up, but I do know that they also have a janitor that's there until maybe 11, 12. He works the second shift.
And Mr. Cavaliers, there are provisions go that everyone's remains static for 8 seconds. No flashing, no scrolling. And then I think there are dimmer switches where they are required to at least dim it at night. Those are all code code required, so they're, making everything for it.
Doesn't look like there's anyone else that wants to, oh wait, I didn't see Jeff back there. I don't think. Yeah. Okay, so this is a variance. So would anyone like to make a motion regarding finding a fact?
I could do that. I would like to make a motion to support the finding of facts presented by the city staff and the applicant to move forward with this variance voting as submitted.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion based on the finding of the fact to approve the application.
Motion and finding of fact to approve the application for GC 23-011.
Okay, can I have a second?
Approved.
I'll second.
All right, call the roll.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Runbow,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalaris,
Yes.
Mr. Hoy,
Yes.
Chair Cooperman.
Yes. Do we have to vote twice? Let it think about it? We do.
Once
Okay,
to approve the finding of facts, the second to approve the motion for variance.
Yeah,
Approve
so
the
that-
variance.
got it. For the record, that vote was to approve the finding of fact, that the application presented a hardship and the variance was warranted. Now, can we please call the roll for the approval of the application?
Mr. Runbow,
Yes.
Mr. Cavalaris,
Yes.
Mr. Hoy,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Chair Cooperman.
Yes, and the application is approved.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks. Okay. The last one, GC 23-012, 1475 Olentangy River Road. Mr. Trimmer.
1475 Olentangy River Road is located on the west side of Olentangy River Road. Approximately 475 feet south of King Avenue. It is zoned M Manufacturing and is part of the 5th by Northwest Area Commission. The 2.10 acre site is developed with a 2-story hotel with 2 separate hotel buildings. Surrounding uses are eating and drinking establishments to the east, north, and south, and an apartment complex to the west. The applicant is proposing to install 2 roof signs and is requesting a graphics plan to allow roof signs on a building in the community commercial overlay. C2P to discourage roof signs, however, planning staff note the unique design of the structure and that the signage is otherwise consistent with the size and placement guidelines. The sign is also compatible with similar signage in the surrounding area. As such, staff is in support. Division of Traffic Management had no comments, and the 5th by Northwest Area Commission recommends approval of this request. City staff is recommending approval. Although C2P2 discourages roof signs, the staff recommend approval of the proposed graphics plan as the signage is appropriate in size and scale in relation to the building and is compatible with similar signage in the surrounding area. Staff further notes that one of the guidelines the Graphics Commission shall use in determining an application for approval of roof sign is that a building go up to and including 40 feet in height may display roof signs in lieu of other permanent wall signs allowed by this chapter. So we are recommending the condition that the proposed roof signs will be allowed in lieu of any other permanent wall sign.
Thank you. Jeff, can you please state your name for the record?
I'm Jeffrey L. Brown, attorney with Smith and Hill, representing the applicant. That condition shouldn't apply because the elevation is 41 feet. And if you're over 40 feet, then as long as the square footage of your roof line and your wall sign does not exceed what would be allowed, you can have both. So that yellow, I don't know what you would call it, the chimney looking thing, we are replacing the existing sign there with another sign, updating that. And that's already, I believe, has been granted a permit. So I just think the staff didn't realize that the building is actually 41. If you look at that, it shows that as being 41 feet. So you can have both as long as the total square footage doesn't exceed what's allowed. And in our case, I did the math and the square footage doesn't exceed to have those two signs. We've got a unique design with that roof line, and we also have a really ugly exhaust pipe that is coming out. So we want to do the coffee shop that's going to be in there, and also wanted to do something to indicate a drive-through and be able to hide that exhaust one, because the drive-through, if you've ever been to this hotel, they have that pergola share there and the driveway's in there. And so the window is inside that. So it's not very visible or anything like that in terms of this location. And if you're familiar with the Olentangy River corridor there, Cap City has a very similar type sign that the Graphics Commission approved. The fish market actually has, in my mind, what I would consider a roof sign. But the way the city defines, if anything, if the face of the sign comes off the roof plane, that becomes a roof sign, even though it doesn't extend beyond the roof. So what I would request is approval of our graphics plan and without the condition, because the fact is the building is taller than 40 feet.
Well, but there's a whole lot of other conditions that don't really match. I wish we would have known that before this was applied for. The graphics plan is for the roof sign, so
That's when this all came up when the review, and there was no issue with the.
well, we didn't know about the proposed wall sign, that's what I'm saying.
So can you elaborate on what it?
Well, I'm trying to find that code section. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're not violating that code section.
So Jamie, did you think that the other sign was getting removed instead of
Totally, yeah.
replaced?
Yeah.
And so the condition that you're asking for would prevent the applicant from replacing the existing sign on that yellow
Right.
thing that.
Because I mean, we just thought, is it not gonna be a hotel anymore?
No, well, yeah.
So Chairman, maybe should we table this? Why? Because it sounds like they need to.
So we can do some research here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that when you have one entity, it's allowed one wall size, and you're allowed a certain, sorry?
In addition to the rest of the building.
Well, yeah.
Sounds
Correct,
like the
Jeff?
plan is changing.
What?
So you'll be rebranding the hotel with a name.
We'll be rebranding it Quality Inn, and under the code, a roof sign is required to be approved via a graphics plan.
Right, so they're gonna have a wall sign on this parapet, which apparently has been approved. I didn't realize that there was gonna be one here, so this may affect the total graphic area. I just wanna make sure we're covering all our bases. We didn't know there was gonna be a sign up.
If you look at 3377.26A, a building more than 40 feet in height may display a roof sign in addition to other permanent wall signs allowed by this chapter, provided that the aggregate graphic area of roof signs and wall sign does not exceed the maximum graphic area allowed for the building.
So what's the maximum area? Is that's what you meant, Jamie?
Right, yeah, and
I mean, I don't mind if you want to put that we don't exceed the maximum area, because it's my understanding from our sign people and everything that we don't.
What is the zoning there? Is it?
The zoning is M.
So you get the maximum if it's in.
Yeah.
They probably do get a lot of pretty good setback. The building's pretty good setback. Isn't it, Jim?
I mean, I don't think we have an issue with it. It's just,
But you're right.
you know,
You want to add or?
caveat emptor, or go, it's up to you. If you go to permitting and they're like, well, you exceed the graphic area.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
So like, it's so we can vote on it tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I didn't, I'll take the blame. I didn't explain it well enough in terms of that there was already a wall sign, but that had already been approved and the other ones were rejected. So that's why we applied for the graphics plan for what the city considered a roof sign. So I'm happy to say that what we're proposing will comply with that code.
Yeah, the graphics plan is contingent upon the applicant complying with the maximum size
Yeah,
permitted by code.
that's fine with that.
Yeah. Now, does the lettering that's on that chimney part, is that part of the roof sign, you think?
Well, no, I don't think that's technically a roof.
I know
It's always designed.
So like you have the hotel name, and then you have the coffee thing. So those two square footages add up.
Oh, you're talking about what Dane's pointing at?
Yeah,
This
yes, yeah,
little
in other
thing?
words, is it just Crimson Cup or is it that little, I can't.
No,
see
it is, that says drive-through on it. So
Yeah.
we can, my understanding when the permits were reviewed, those both were considered roof signs because they are sticking
Right.
up from the plane of the
Correct.
roof.
Yeah, but what about the other thing? When you do wall sign, you could have two wall signs and add them up separately without like roping them together. But if you have three, so the crimson could end up screwing up this.
Well, no,
Square
because
footage.
the crimson and the drive-through are roof signs, not wall signs.
Well, we're saying
Total graphic area. But Jeff does have a point that the wall sign is calculated different than a roof sign or a ground sign.
Right,
So
right.
because we're considering this a roof sign, it may not trigger that wall sign graphic area.
Okay.
But still, it would be nice to know.
And we did present this to the Fifth by Northwest, and they recommended approval of the request.
So I'm confused though, because, so now you didn't know that it was a roof sign or you did, or?
We knew that these were roof signs. We had no idea there was gonna be a wall sign here.
Okay. So.
They thought, they thought the sign was being replaced, that's in existence. They didn't understand it was being replaced, not removed. Sorry.
Okay.
But Jeff's argument is that it's above 40 feet, which allows an exception in the code so long as it complies with the maximum area, signage area.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this was a 39-foot building, you'd be only allowed a roof sign in lieu of wall signs. But because it's a foot and a half taller, you're allowed the roof signs and the wall signs.
So now that would exclude the, condition recommendation.
Apparently, yeah, the applicant designed.
I think we agree we're gonna put in just a contingency that applicant understands it needs to comply with the code.
Right, with that code section in terms of the overall square footage. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, can you state that, sign code one more time for Tony, please? Is it 3377.26?
Yes.
A
Permanent or permanent.
Yeah, it's revised code 33.
3377.26A as an apple.
Got it. Okay. Nobody else wants to speak? I'm making the assumption. This is a graphics plan, so we don't need finding of fact. So can I have a motion to approve the application?
I'll make a motion to approve application GC 23-01.
Actually, we'll put a plug in that. It does say that a building more than 40 feet in height may display a roof sign in addition to other permanent wall signs allowed by this chapter, provided that the aggregate graphic area of roof signs and wall signs does not exceed the maximum. So it would be combined.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Mike and I were on a different page, but you guys clarified.
Well, it was like if you have three wall signs, that you can't like add eight.
Well, yeah,
But somehow they're measured like the weird.
well, if you have three or more wall signs, like for a grocery store, then they make you box the whole
Exactly.
thing and you have all this empty space. But in this particular instance, we have one wall sign and two roof signs.
Well, really, you have two wall signs and
one roof sign.
and one roof sign, but the two wall signs are added separately. They are polygoned in.
Meaning you're not saying, you're not taking the negative space. You're
Right.
taking only the use space. So
Yeah.
this entity, not that.
Yes, not outside area. Yeah.
Right.
Since there are three.
And so you were reading 3377.2A, right?
26A, yep,
26A.
the one that Jeff.
We could just add that.
We're good.
Good.
Nick made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We can vote as modified, I'll say, or as stated.
Mr. Cavaliers?
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt?
Yes.
Ms. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Romo?
Yes.
Chair Cooperman?
Yes, application's approved.
Thank you very much. What happened to Les?
Les is retired.
This is the new Les.
I figured this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wow, he never told me.